strength,
stamina,
speed.
Let's go, Drew. You're at 215.
They're all required here.
They have to go from 0 to 60 just like that. They have to be able to perform at a very high level.
That's why there's widespread support for gender-neutral testing in the fire service. But the tests themselves can vary wildly from department to department.
What we tried to do is make sure that we had stuff that replicated tasks that would be done on the fire ground.
In Urbandale, candidates have to complete 5 stations.
Turning on a hydrant,
Pulling a water-filled hose,
ventilation simulation,
carrying tools,
and dragging a dummy.
Go.
The time limit is 4 minutes.
Go, go, go.
A blind hose follow and a ladder climb are each timed separately.
Go.
In Des Moines,
It all starts with 3 minutes on a painfully slow-moving stair climber wearing 75 pounds.
that weight drops to 50 pounds for the rest of the test. And managing a hose is next.
Then there's the equipment carry.
Station 4 tests technique raising and lowering a ladder.
The intensity ramps up again with this sledgehammer exercise.
Crawling through this blackout tunnel is next.
And unfortunately, the dummy is still part of this test.
Pushing and pulling, which simulates ventilation, is the final station.
And it all has to happen in 10 minutes, 20 seconds.
Captain Joe Hogan finishes it with plenty of time to spare.
This is a test that we did not design organically. This came from outside and has been studied and has held up.
Actually, it was put together by the International Firefighters, the International Fire Chiefs, and the Justice Department, and it's gone through a lot of content validity testing.
Chief John Takip says that candidate physical ability test, known as the CPAT, is considered the gold standard for candidate testing. But
it's expensive. It's labor intensive. It requires a lot of equipment and it requires a lot of training on the part of the personnel. When we do administer the test, we call back a lot of people on overtime to be present to coach the candidates and to proctor the candidates as they go through.
Estimating the cost per department is difficult, but it's enough to price out most small town and volunteer departments. Of the 864 fire departments in Iowa, less than 1.5% use the CPAT.
according to the National Report Card on Women in Firefighting, around 21% of departments use the CPAT. Roughly 24% have tests developed by testing professionals or state civil service commissions. More than half use homegrown tests created internally.
Researchers didn't just examine what kind of tests departments use.
They also wanted to find out how women did on them.
They found that the average pass rate for women on the CPAT test is 68%. On all others, it's 49%. Some speculate it's because many of those other tests place more emphasis on brute strength.
There's a level of athleticism in doing this and being an occupational athlete for a fire department.
Switch.
While proving your athleticism is a requirement, maintaining it is up to each firefighter.
With the physical fitness side of things, it's a one and done thing. I mean, you just have to meet that on your very best day of your entire life, and then, yeah, you could just slide from there.
Jay Roten doesn't want the slide to happen on his watch. As a pure fitness trainer, he helps lead workouts for his crew at Station 7. Every Des Moines firefighter is supposed to exercise 30 minutes a day. Some would like to see more rigorous requirements.
I feel there should be something in place. If there was a minimum standard to physically to get on this job, you should have to re-up on that every certain period of time.
That sounds ideal, but it takes us back to that earlier problem.
You don't have the tax base to support that.
Whether it's paying for the CPAT test or ongoing testing, most departments just don't have room in the budget.
So your options are you can either pay for gas for a fire truck or you can pay for physicals for firefighters to go.
Setting those types of priorities is a painful reality, just like knowing that when they're trying to save a life, they're putting their own in the hands of their fellow firefighters.
We all know our strengths and weaknesses, and so you know who you can call on to perform at a higher level for a given task, However, we all have to be generalists. Everyone within the fire department is required to perform the same duties.